The last thing I remember before falling asleep was an itch at my ankle, and the pulling feeling that I should have done more that day. I fought the good fight, rebelling against nature, and willing my eyes open. The draw of some contradictory current tugging me down into the deep of drowsiness, and also into forced attention. That dizzy, drowning, falling sensation was an invitation that wouldn't be ignored for long, and it won in the end. And I had so little to say in the matter that I'm not even quite sure when the battle was lost. Dreams are like bubbles. Shiny spun spit that glistens with the interest for a brief moment, and then it pops, and all evidence of its form is gone in an instant. The compulsion to catch one sparks and lingers in every jaded soul and every inner child, though it passes quickly, and daily routine covers it like a snug blanket for another day. I don't care for coffee, so my main incentive to drag out of bed is bladder relief, to be perfectly honest. Rising out of bed from the waist up, like a marionette animated with a jerk of the strings, I remembered something spectacularly odd from a half-awakening earlier in the morning. Was it a lingering dream or a murky memory? I blinked the sleep from my eyes and glanced to the left side, my husband's side, of the king-size bed. Well, the king-size mattress on the floor. We never did reassemble the bed frame after moving to Richmond in the spring. That side is usually empty. Seth normally sleeps in the family room, on the old gray couch inherited after my parents' divorce. It was still there. It wasn't a dream. The treble doll, the one missing from 3 months, was resting comfortably in the spot where Seth's head should be. I washed the sheets and the pillowcases a few days ago, so this doesn't make sense. I tried to make sense of it. Nope. The tiny charm had fine blood-red thread carefully wrapped around its ancient stiff paper legs. Its torso was spun in white, and the yellowed stiff curl of paper constituting his head had faded pen strokes of a blank face. He was originally part of a set of 6 treble dolls, belonging to my mother and carefully kept in a small and tidy oval box, crudely marked with red, green, and blue strokes of paint. She used to keep it in a slightly larger rectangular box, handmade from mahogany, and the lid inlaid with intricate mother-of-pearl mosaic. This was her worry box. She kept it on her nightstand ever since I can remember. It contained an old deck of tarot cards, carefully laid in a thin and warm purple scarf, an amethyst, and, of course, the tiny oval box full of 6 treble dolls, each about the size of a fingernail. The way she explained it was that if you had a worry that kept you up at night, you write it down on a scrap of paper, put it into the worry box, and whisper each worry to a treble doll. The dolls assigned trebles would stay under your pillow for the night and work on your problems so you could rest. In the morning, you were to retrieve the treble dolls, thank them, and return them to their box, then burn the scraps of paper and reflect. As a child, I was so enchanted by this box and its mystical potential. I would sneak into my mother's room and lay on her bed when she was out, which was often. I would run my fingers over the mother-of-pearl inlay on the lid and take a deep breath. The musty smell of the worn scarf within the box and the familiar scent from her pillow seemed to swirl around me in those lonely moments and shield me from the heaviness of solitude that hung around me as the only child of a divorced, single, dating mother. I would savor the evenings when she spared some precious time only for me. dim lights, open windows, and laying on our stomachs over the bed. The bed was made with a white down comforter that would sometimes be perforated with the ends of feathers. The brass bed frame would creak as we hunkered down into position for girl time. The shimmering box before us opened a portal to time that I could share with someone who connected to me, someone besides myself. Tarot card reading, a stall to bedtime, a chance to be with my mother. I used to have severe anxiety about going to bed, and as an infant, night terrors. As a child, insomnia and sleepwalking, and as a young adult, insomnia and anxiety. I dreaded going to sleep the same way a person dreads death in a foxhole. The "if I die before I wake" prayer said every night didn't help, but I believe this fear had been within me all my life, and perhaps before it. I was given the Trouble Dolls when I struck out on my own. They have carried many of my passing burdens, and somehow, after moving to Richmond, and somewhere between then and this morning, I had misplaced them. I guess the last trouble I bid them to fix was too much to handle. But at the close of this dark week, when I felt I had too many worries to hold, one lone trooper reappeared. No explanation, no logic, just a manifestation of hope in the form of an ancient paper doll, clothed in thread, small and worn. Good morning.